Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Roadshow. Enter at your own risk. You know the rules. I got a few quick introductions. To my left is Senior Dark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
And a special surprise guest that we didn't even know we were going to have, the artist Mistameana. He's going to be joining us tonight. We're going to share a track of his off of his record and a short interview with him to see what he's been up to. Moving right along, the Dead to Us All tour. The Human Factors Lab tour. We have been all over Florida. We've done most recently Lake Worth. We're going to sum that up, and we're going to sum up New Smyrna Beach. You can get our CDs and download our songs at iTunes. You can get the CDs from the shows as well. We've got new merch. We've got tons of new shirt designs, including the zombie shirt, the blade shirt, the blood shirt, and the Suicide Diaries compilation shirt. Online store on humanfactorslab.com. You can buy all that stuff. Facebook, Human Factors Lab, at Human Factors Lab on Twitter. You can follow the Roadshow on Facebook and Twitter at Sunni Simmons Roadshow and at the SS Roadshow on Twitter. Please be sure to share that information with your friends, coworkers, and family, blah, 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 blah. We want to get more people listening to the show and let you guys know what we're up to on the road. We're going to recap real quick. First thing is Lake Worth, Senior Dark. I had a great time at the Lake Worth show. It was an awesome show for a Sunday night. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We had a really good turnout. It was a hospitality kind of night, so everybody in the industry got in for a discounted rate, and they had killer drink specials, so that place packed up. I mean, it was great lighting, great sound. I have to give a huge shout-out to our friend Sarah. She was an amazing sound person, like awesome. She worked hand-in-hand with Scrimshaw, made sure we sounded good, and made sure we looked good, lighting was good, everything was good with that. We appreciate all the support and love on a Sunday night. And also on Monday, right after that, we were close to home, what I would consider a home game at New Smyrna Beach at a place called the Ohm Bar. And that was great. We got a $50 bar tab that we slaughtered through really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And we met some really good friends. Hair of the Beast was probably my favorite performance. We played with our friends SML8. They were great as well, but I mean, I'm a huge fan now of Hair of the Beast. There is actually some pictures up on the Roadshow page of Seven and myself with their singer. There's 3 pictures where he bought one of our shirts and just started screaming heavy metal, just asked me, he said, "What do you shoot?" And I was like, "Well, a 12 gauge shotgun." You know, he's like, "No, liquor." You know, so we get up to the bar and he starts buying me shot after shot after shot. You know, I mean, we got it done. I mean, those guys are very like-minded individuals when it comes to drinking and raising hell and heavy metal. That was a ton of fun. Find those guys online. We're going to have them on as soon as we can. They were nice enough to buy some merch from us and all that stuff. One more quick thing before I forget while we're on picture news. From Lake Worth, I found a business card in this little dive bar type place where I got some quesadillas, and it was called Camel Towing. How you like that, Dark?
That's funny.
How about the straw that broke the camel's back?
That's great.
Like, it's actually a real towing company, but I thought that was pretty clever. I took a picture of it and put it up there. So if anyone finds that perverse humor that I share awesome, then feel free to like. We've got a few likes on the picture already, and it's only been up for a couple of minutes. So anyway, we've got a lot to get to tonight. A lot's been going on with the tour. If you're on Twitter, hashtag Dead to Us All Tour. We really want to try and get that trending. That way everybody knows exactly what we're up to. And, you know, like I said, please feel free to share the love. Tell people that the show is on SoundCloud. It's going to be up on iTunes and on YouTube. So make sure everyone knows that you can stream that directly from our Facebook page, or you can go download them on there. So, Dark, moving right along. I found a piece of artwork when I had a night off at a sort of an art exhibition / bar place. And let's see, I'm going to look it up here on the page. It is a heavy metal cupcake with a fallen pentagram star and the goat horns and what appears to be the heavy metal horns. Like, what do you think about this piece?
Oh, I love it. It's awesome. It's a good combination of cute and hardcore at the same time.
Well, I thought of you when I saw it because you like cupcakes, you like heavy metal, and if it wasn't $450, I would have picked it up and brought it over here.
Wow, that's
But
a lot.
dude, it was the background, the part that looks like a popcorn box, kind of in my estimation.
Yeah.
That's like a wood surface.
Okay.
The other part is actually poly blend of some sort. It felt like an unwaxed surfboard, like a really smooth, but it's been painted underneath. So a lot of money and time went into this artwork. I wish for the life of me I could remember the artist's name.
It looks so cool.
It's on display at the whole place. If you see the thing over to the other side here, like it's all within the same theme, and it all has the same kind of medium where either the background or the piece in the forefront is poly and the rest of it's like a wood base. So it kind of alternates. Really a unique approach to art, and like you said, it's kind of like a silly meets
What is
dark.
what is the name of the piece again?
It's called Anton. Wait a minute, what is it? Yeah, like Anton LaVey. Anton Bielsa-Nom. And noms meaning like nom nom nom. It's
Yeah, because
delicious.
it's a cupcake, so it makes sense. Num num num. Yeah. Okay.
That picture is up on the Facebook. I wanted everybody to take a look at that, and I wanted to make sure you saw it because I immediately thought of you and your girl and how awesome that would look in here. So
That would be great.
as
I wish I
soon
had
as I get a raise, I will hook you guys up with a copy of that if no one else buys it first because it's really cool. What we're going to do now is we've kind of quickly gone over the shows. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick commercial break, and we've got a lot to talk about here, and we have a lot to get into with our good friend Mistameana. So, with that being a last-minute addition to the show, we're going to go ahead and do a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with a little bit more of what's been goings on in our personal lives, and then we'll get on to the interview with him. So, if you guys can, just hang on real quick. Roadshow will be right back. Welcome to SinisterGuitarPicks.com, home of the Metal Edge Guitar Picks. Sinister Guitar Picks is the only guitar pick company to make picks with real metal edges without the entire pick being made out of metal. Our picks produce a superior tone, faster attack, and they are way more durable than standard picks. If you don't believe us, go to our testimonial page and hear what other guitarists have to say. Sinister is more than just a guitar pick company, it's a lifestyle. Check out our clothing line, jewelry, and accessories to show everyone your love for music and that you're living this sinister lifestyle. Again, visit SinisterGuitarPicks.com. All right, and we're back with the Roadshow. A couple more things we want to go over before we get Mr. Mina in here. That is our guest, and we are honored to have him here. Last week, or actually, it feels like a week ago, this week has flown by having time off. You know what? Next broadcast, now that I think about it, Dark, we're going to be in fucking Cleveland, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Next broadcast will be from Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio!
We went out and saw our friends at SBK Live. They did a live broadcast downtown Orlando, and we were able to go down there and watch them do their thing live, support their podcast as well. They are on iTunes, Stitcher, basically every medium you can find. If you just look up SBK Live on Google or any other search engine, you should be able to find our friends over there. We had a great time out with them. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun, a lot of physical comedy, a lot of a great performance by some guys that are putting together a podcast. And actually, I invited our boy Mistameana out to see that, and they actually were able to spin a few of his tracks between breaks and sort of break down what he's doing. And actually, even without a formal introduction, I saw the guy selling CDs.
Nice.
People were asking SBK and the staff for change so they could buy a disc off of him. And actually, he's going to have to give a couple of the guys on the show the free copies he brought for them actually got purchased. So that was really cool to see so much support in downtown Orlando. Moving on from that, we got a little bit of news in the world of racing. Dark, you remember the other night when we were talking on our previous episode about having to cancel the whole mess in Fort Lauderdale, and we ended up going back to the room and just kind of hanging out, watching some NASCAR and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay, we saw a really bad wreck with about 50 laps to go, and everyone walked away, and everyone, had their little scuffle and their things. But what's come to light is that two separate drivers were injured in a similar way in the same accident.
Oh, wow.
Martin Truex Jr., the driver of the 56 car, was involved in a mess that started when the 11 of Denny Hamlin had nowhere to go and sort of just collected everybody. And Truex broke his wrist, it turns out, and will be actually racing in Atlanta for Labor Day weekend with a cast on. And
What, so he didn't know that before going to the doctor?
Well, they go to the infield care center when they wreck, but I don't know if maybe he thinks, this feels sore and it'll go away. Sometimes a hand injury, it either feels awful or you don't really know what's going on until
Well,
you.
he's probably used to that, so he probably thought it was just
Well,
something he could just
I've
shake off.
broken both of my hands in the same place on both hands, and both times it hurt really bad. But until you wake up the next day and see it swollen and feel that particular feeling, you have no idea that it's as bad as it is. At least in my past experience. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Hamlin's wasn't as bad. His, I think, was a severe sprain where he's in a splint, but he's going to heal a lot faster than the broken bone of Truex. But that was an eventful race, a violent one, and it just seems that injuries are popping up left and right. There's been some deaths. They've had Tony Stewart's broken leg. We talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
It just seems like everybody's just getting really eager to make this championship run, and it seems like, as that bloodthirst, if you will, goes on, it just seems like that the wrecks are getting more violent and people are getting hurt. I hate to see it, but that's what's happening. Other than that, Hendrick Motorsports launched a mobile app where you can follow all their videos, news, photos. Their 4 drivers are featured on the app. It's free. It's a lot of the same news you tend to see on NASCAR.com. I went ahead and downloaded it because, with me being a huge Earnhardt fan, he drives over there. So you can build a color theme the way that you want it based on your favorite driver. But a lot of the news is there's a few inside things that you'll get that you won't find on the rest of their platforms socially. But, you seem to get more from Vine and some of their other social medias. But if you're interested in it, it's a free app. I'd say give it a shot. It's not hurting anything. It's just another way to follow the guys at Hendrick if you're interested in them. And let's see, what else have we got here? You pointed out a story to me that I think is really big and has sort of shocked the entertainment industry. If I'm not mistaken, I remember you telling me that someone in the adult film industry has contracted, was it HIV or AIDS?
Oh, yeah. HIV positive.
Can you bring us up to speed on what you've heard? This was news to me until you brought it up.
There's a porn star named Cameron Bay, and she was tested for HIV, and she was tested positive. That was this month. In the porn industry, they halt all production and got everybody to go get tested to make sure that it didn't spread.
Well, of course, I'm sure everybody's freaking out because you got to look back and see, I don't want to sound like I'm making light of this, but I mean, you got to look back and see who slept with who.
Oh, yeah.
Because most of the time it's unprotected.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, right now, what she's trying to do right now is she's trying to take in the news. I'm pretty sure that's probably the worst news that you can get from anywhere. And her goal right now is to try her best to assist medical professionals and her fellow performers to make sure they get tested constantly for STDs, so that way they don't go through the same issue that she's going through right now.
Okay, so how does something like this come about? Like, I'm sure on the regular, these performers get tested just because of the nature of their job. So
Yeah.
did she just discover it and it was like, holy shit, now I need to look back over my most recent... I mean, how does the process start and what do you do?
Well, see, what happened is that besides the performance that they do on films, they also have their own personal flings, and
which is not regulated like the
exactly
TV.
You know what I
shows.
mean?
Okay.
It's not regulated. So the truth is that some of these people, they probably do this so long, they get way too comfortable, and sometimes they'll be like, "Nah, I'm okay. I don't need to take a test."
Complacency.
They need to make it a mandatory thing that if you didn't take the test, then you can't perform anymore.
I thought it was mandatory.
It's just like the same issue that happens with movie stars and actresses and actors where like they're not prescribed certain drugs, but they're still able to get it because they're famous and they have that name. So they can just get any doctor to write a script for them, even though they don't have it prescribed, and they can get away with it because they got the money and they're famous.
I guess so. So do you know how... Like, what's the next step once you figure that out? Do you start contacting everybody you've been on film with? Does it say, what is her plan of action at this point? I mean, you got to track down where it came from. Everybody's got to get some sort of security back before, I mean, like, what do you even do in this situation?
Well, she's trying to contact pretty much the people she just recently performed with, and she's letting them know, hey, I'm HIV positive now. We've performed before. You need to get yourself checked. Right now there's another performer. Her name is Sydney Leathers, And she's famous for the upcoming forward and disgraced congressman of the now New York City mayoral candidate, Anthony Weiner.
No way. How's she tied to him?
The latest sexting partner.
Does she have it too?
No, she was exposed HIV. She was exposed to HIV while making the adult movie Weiner and Me. Yeah,
That's not the name of it.
that's actually the name of it.
And it's about him?
Yeah, pretty much. And it says
He's not in it, though.
No, I don't think he's in it.
Because all he did was said he jacked off to her pictures. He didn't actually do anything.
I don't know the whole story about it. All I know is that because she has performed with Cameron Bay, she wanted to make sure that she doesn't have it. So she had herself tested 3 times to make sure that she didn't have it. And representative said that she's on all 3. She was all negative, so she's okay so far.
Lucky, man,
because the
right?
thing about with these things is some people will be like, oh, I don't have it, but then 2-3 years later, 7 years later, it can come up.
Yeah, it does. That was what I was going to get to next. Is from what I've heard in the news, like a lot of stuff that says that a lot of these things don't show up right away. You might not even know how long you've had something or who you got it from.
I mean, that's what they used to say 10, 15 years ago. And I don't know if the tests they have now are a little more accurate and they can actually detect it quicker or better than before. But what I remember from when I was in high school and they were, teaching us about AIDS and all that stuff and, preventing it and making sure you don't get it, is that even if people get tested, they can still come out positive 7, 10 years later. So,
It's horrible, man.
And because this thing is not easy to control and there's no cure for it, them tests can't be 100%,
Yeah, I guess, not to do like a PSA here, but everybody seriously, be smart. Think about what you're doing. That's all you can do. There's no rules and regulations. It's up to you. I hate to hear stuff like this, especially in an industry that should have protocol in place to prevent things like this from happening. It's pretty sad. And it's a huge story. And, I'm sure that hopefully everybody, I hate to hear that anyone's been victimized by such a thing, but if anything, maybe everyone can walk away learning something and say, hey, let's just be a little bit more aware of what's going on out here. Not to jump too fast off subject, but we got a lot to get to. We got Mistameana here. It's an honor to have this artist in here with us, and it was kind of a last minute thing, and I really want to make sure we get enough time with him. Let's jump quickly over the next 2 things. Angry Birds Star Wars Edition Part 2. I've heard that's coming out. I don't know a lot about it. I played the first one. I'm a big fan of both the game and the Star Wars franchise. So that's going to be out soon. So maybe you can get your Angry Bird space on. You play it?
No, not yet, actually. I don't know if they have a demo.
I thought
or
you
anything
played
for it.
on my iPad on tour a couple times. You played the space one, haven't you?
I've actually played all the other ones.
Or no, you played the Star Wars one.
I played Angry Bird Season, Angry Bird Rio, and then the Star
But
Wars.
remember, yeah, when the first time we went to
Yeah.
New Orleans, I'll give a big shout
you
out
had
to
it.
Cups.
You had it on your
We
iPad.
were staying with Cups. Yeah, you and Kimmy both
And we
played for a
tested
little
out.
while.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Well, they're
remember.
coming out with the second edition. I haven't even beaten the first one.
Oh wow.
I've been so wrapped up in catching up on Breaking Bad and things on Netflix while we're touring. I haven't even had a chance to catch up on my games, but that's coming up, and it's at the top of my list as far as new downloads that I'm going to get. All you Star Wars fans, I'm sure you're going to love that too. Real quick, this is going to blow your mind. I intentionally saved this one so you wouldn't know anything about it. Apparently, Ozzy Osbourne has lit his kitchen on fire while making a sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
He lit up the whole kitchen on fire just making a sandwich.
I'm about to break you off some knowledge.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Los Angeles firefighters were called to the home of Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne for the second time this year, on August 27th. That was this past Tuesday. After Ozzy reportedly started a fire in their kitchen while making a baking bacon sandwich. According to the San Diego Union Tribune, Sharon tweeted about it and says, I'm in London. Official Ozzy is in L.A. making a bacon sandwich last night, and the fire brigade ended up at our house. There were no reports of any injuries, and there's no word on whether there was any damage to the kitchen or house. But anyway, this isn't the first time the guy's been in the news this year. In January, he was injured and had to receive medical treatment after Sharon left a candle lit overnight that exploded in its glass vase, sparking a fire, which took over the living room of their home. I think they're trying to burn the place down and make it a living hell. I mean, come on, man. What's going on here? The couple's attempts to put out the flame then only resulted in more damage and Ozzy's injuries, with Sharon saying on the talk after the incident, his eyebrows are gone. Looks like me. He's got... He's got, like, skinned cheeks. We are like two idiots. It was like the Three Stooges. More like the two... Come on, man. What is going on here? The Two Stooges, Three Stooges. Everything you're not meant to do. Go to bed with candles lit, whatever. Open the doors and put water on. We did it all. That's great. Ozzy's back home in L.A. Black Sabbath's winding down its current North American tour in support of its reunion album 13. Amazing story there. They left their original drummer, Bill Ward, out of a contract issue, and they actually had Rage Against the Machine's drummer track their new album. Imagine growing up, listening to Black Sabbath, make your mark as a huge rock and roll drummer in your own right with a legendary band, and then get called on by them to come in the studio and make a record with them. I thought that was pretty cool. But this guy needs to be careful, man. He's almost burned the place down twice. What's going on over there?
I would say age, maybe. Memory, something.
So you think...
yeah, I mean, think of it this way. When you see him, I mean, you've seen the show.
Senility?
And you've seen him on TV, and you see him in commercials, and you see him everywhere. He looks burnt out. So I don't think his mind's all there. They should always have somebody to supervise him if he's going to make a bacon sandwich. I made a bacon sandwich.
Well, his wife was there, and she fucking left a damn candle lit in the bedroom.
I made a bacon sandwich this morning, and I didn't burn my kitchen down. Okay?
Well, maybe after you do as many drugs as he has done,
exactly.
You might be there.
Yeah, well.
I thought this was crazy. I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's obviously... We love the guy, but Jesus Christ, man.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty rough right there. Anyway, not to make too much fun of our heroes here, I thought that would crack you up because no one was hurt, and that's a good thing. Or at least it wasn't reported.
That was fresh because I have not heard that.
Yeah, that was brand new. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to refill our drinks. We're going to bring Mistameana in here. We got our guest waiting outside. He is ready to get it on with you guys. We got a fresh track from him called Traveling Through. We're going to get a word from our sponsors. We're going to play that song, and then we're going to talk to the man himself. Hang on, Roadshow will be right back. Listen up, everybody. I need to talk to you real quick about Cat Ward Productions. Again, that is Cat Ward Productions. Photography, graphics, web, promotions, marketing, and more. Cat did the logo for the Roadshow. We couldn't have asked for better customer service, better vision, better hands-on working with representing our product. She can do the same for you, too. Contact Cat Ward at catwardproductions@gmail. That's CATWARD, catwardproductions@gmail.com. Get in touch with Cat. She will make your project look good.
Yeah. What? Word. It was a long ride.
Welcome home, baby.
But I'm home.
I missed you.
Feels good to be back, too. Cheers to that. Yeah, yo, I traveled many places, I've seen so many faces. Come take a trip with me, well, we don't need no suitcases. I'll show you where I've been, I'll take you where I go. Now follow along, it's the Mistameana show. Yo, it started off high in the mountains in the Junque, Puerto Rico, si Taino, that's my people. Conquistadores on a quest for the best, so they packed up their bags and headed out west. With my mother being stressed from being pregnant. Would've been born in 78, but came 17 days late, okay, that's great. I'm here to rock a mic, now give me a beat. That's when I heard the music banging in the streets of the east. So the next thing you know, I'm in Lawrence, Massachusetts, studying hip-hop day and night, no excuses. Looking back in life and thinking how far I've come. I might reach my destination, but my journey's never done. But I'll always travel home no matter how far I roam. And if I'm feeling homesick, then I just pick up the phone. Shout out to my peeps, big up my true fam. It's the places that I've been that made exactly who I am. I might catch you by surprise, show up out of the blue, but I can't stay that long, you see I'm just traveling through. Gotta keep the party moving, man, you know know it's nothing new. It was good to see you too, but see, I'm just traveling through. Hey, I partied out in Pittsburgh with hippies smoking good herb, putting ice in the bong. It hits you like a blizzard. When I'm out in Cali, gotta hit up Long Beach. Say what up to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre for them beats. Then travel to Seattle for a pint of Pete's Pipe with some pretty prostitutes, Klondikes if you like. Then back down to Phoenix, say what up to my cuz. Crack a beer or two, you know, get a little buzz. Shit, why not, man? You only live once. Matter of fact, here's the lighter, go ahead and spark that blunt. When I'm out in Cincinnati, gotta bring my own baggie, cause them dudes on the block serve you from their own baggies. Yo, I roll a big fatty with my heads in Miami. 190 octane, at Fat Tuesdays on a Friday. Then drive up to Orlando just to rip the stage up. But before I hit the club, I have no Quan touch me up. But I'll always travel home no matter how far I roam. And if I'm feeling homesick, then I just pick up the phone. Shout out to my peeps, big up my true fam. It's the places that I've been that made exactly who I am. I might catch you by surprise, show up out of the blue, but I can't stay that long, you see I'm just traveling through. Gotta keep the party moving, man, you know it's nothing new. It was good to see you too, but see I'm just traveling through. You might see me on the highway, doing about 95 in the fast lane. It drives you insane as I'm driving by. Do I think to stop? Hell no, New Jersey driving. And I won't slow down, even if I hear them sirens. So go ahead and climb in, get your seatbelts tight. Living like we on the run, that's the story of my life. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas to Hollywood Boulevard. You can join me for a drink if you like at the bar.
All right, we are back. That was a new track from Mistameana off of the album called Inspirational Rap Music. That was a track called Traveling Through. I really dig that. That's a newer one, man. I haven't heard that yet. How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing, bro?
Good to have you here. God, it's good to have you here. Just to give you guys a little insight, me and this guy go way back. We met working at a music store years ago, and we ended up collaborating on some stuff. We put a live band together for a lot of his musical endeavors and his shows and stuff, and we had a killer time doing it. So some of the songs on this record I've noticed are songs that I've worked on you with, and then some of them, like Traveling Through, were brand new. So how did you go from the material you had when you were here? You moved to Boston for a little while. Just tell us what you've been up to and how the writing process has evolved.
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Boston, and I moved down here just for a little while in Orlando, Florida. I just moved down here for a couple years, 5 or 6 years. Went to school, went to Full Sail to audio engineer, learned how to do that stuff.
Right.
And then I ended up working with you. You were in the guitar department. I was in the DJ department.
Absolutely.
And we did our thing. We collaborated because I was working on some new material at that time. And we went out. We did a couple shows and performed it. And the reception was great. People loved our shit. They, posted videos up on YouTube. You can check that shit out on YouTube under DJ Mistameana. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Let me go back to Boston because I miss it. I went back home and, finished up the album.
Nice.
And then, things happened. I ended up moving back to Orlando, family and friends, whatever, ex-girlfriends here and there. Blah. I'm back in Orlando, and I got the album completed, and now I bumped into you again, and Traveling Through was one of the tracks that I worked on while I was up there.
Well, I really dig the track, and what I've always liked about you is you put a lot of time and effort, especially with your know-how from school, into making your studio albums and your production on that sound great, but you have always gone above and beyond for the live show, getting the crowd involved, hence why you wanted the live band. And I'm just kind of curious whether it includes me or other people. Obviously, we all have crazy schedules, but are you looking to start writing new stuff and focus on making more of a live feel for the next record? Or do you have a direction in mind? Are you even ready to start writing again? I mean, what's your plan?
I'm just going to answer other questions how you approached me with them.
Sure.
And I personally like to do music that will grasp the audience. Me being a child from the 70s, products from the 70s, I know what live funk, soul, real stuff is with real instruments,
Absolutely.
As you get into the 80s and the 90s, you see the digital programming, and things just sound a little too dull, a little robotic,
right?
And here we are in 2013, and it's like, okay, I want to bring that back. And people will say, oh, you're old school. That's the old shit, you the old stuff. Well, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, that's what works.
Yeah, the real instruments and real stuff like that. So when I met you, a couple years back, I saw that you were doing your live, hardcore, heavy metal, rock
Right.
and roll. What were the bands that you were with?
I was playing with Lunatic Candy Creep. I was also doing Cletus Axel, which was more of a southern rock, hard rock kind of thing. I was doing Sci-Fried, which is geek rock, and actually that reminds me of a cool story. I was doing a funk R&B soul fusion thing, if you will, with SBK and Fine Lady Mustache, and I noticed you and I had you come out to a show where SBK and I opened for Snoop Dogg and Sublime, and when we saw Snoop playing he had his DJ, but he had a real bass player, and he had a live drummer. And Kevin and I talked about this, and so did you and I. We all looked at each other and said, this is what we could be doing this way.
Yes.
So like I said, you always appreciated the live show. First time I ever saw this guy, Dark, I wasn't in his band yet. I just went out and saw him, and we were at
it was Tatami in Winter Park.
Yeah, it was like this really quaint place where you sit down and take your shoes off and you sip sake. This motherfucker jumped up on the tables and was just like, "Yeah, come on, put your hand." I mean, he didn't give a shit. He was on the table with his shoes on. I was blown away, and from there we naturally hit it off with the same kind of taste in music, but yet the love for the live show. So, getting back to the other question, are you looking to start doing more shows, or do you want to get some newer, edgier material out? What's your plan moving forward from here?
I'll tell you like this, man. I did my album, Inspirational Rap Music, and I did it by myself. I had help with my boy Artisan. Big up to Artisan.
Artisan's the man.
That's my homie right there, in Haverhill, chilling and holding it down.
That's right.
But he pushed me to do my album, and I did my album. That was great. But I like the live feel. And Sunny, you're all about it. I talked to you, we're doing a show here, we're doing a show there. I think I first went to see you do a show at the Junkyard.
Yeah, that was a while back.
And I was like the only Puerto Rican dude there, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, it was a heavy metal show.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, just slow the beat down and let me rap over that shit.
Right.
And then we just collaborated and we did our thing. But I did my album, and, I did it by myself. I did it without a band.
Right.
And thank God that you helped me, and we did a live show with my material, which was great. But now in 2013, here we are. I want to start a new album, and I want all fresh stuff, like non-computerized stuff. I don't want to use...
So when you record this one, you want natural instruments coming in, not you doing the whole thing and us interpreting it into a live situation. You want it being wrote from the standpoint of this is a live record for a live audience.
Yes.
Okay.
I want that sound. I want that feel. I want that vibe.
I want to be a part of it. And I want Senior Dark to be a part of it. That way I can get back to some guitars and some basses, and this guy can play drums, because last time I actually had to jump in on drums because out of the lineup we had, I was the only one that could do it.
Yeah, you see, and that's the interesting thing. Most people don't even know that Sunny plays bass, and I just remember watching him at the Junkyard with his long dreads playing bass, okay? And then when he collaborated with me, Sunny played the drums. Now we had someone else play bass, and Sunny just tore it up on the drums. And that was fresh right there. So I respect this man because he plays multiple instruments and he brings that flavor that you want, whether it's hardcore punk rock or just laid back country music or whatever, hip hop. He'll play it, because he's a jack of all trades, so he can play that. So that's why, Sonny, I'm reaching out to you because you got that vibe and you vibe with me. So if we can start a band, something like The Roots playing with Jimmy Fallon.
Nice.
That'll be pretty sweet. And I think, I'm not sure how many people in Orlando do that stuff.
Right.
So I don't know if we'd
definitely be original.
What.
We'd definitely be original. And I will definitely play with you any opportunity that I get. And just let the audience know, this guy, he had his record. He was half of the record done. He comes up to me and he says, I need to build a band and you're the guy I trust. And I was flattered by that. So I said, it took me a second. And I said, okay, let me digest this and let me make sure I can do this properly. Let me make sure I can give him the best thing that he needs. I was like, we've got a few months. We got some time. This dude tells me we got 10 days. We did a 5 or 6 song set. It wasn't a super long set. I had to figure out how to play the drum beats. I had to figure out how to sample things properly. I had to figure out how to put guitars and basses in place, find guys that could do that and transpose everything into strings. I mean, I had a chart on the wall with a marker, and I can't tell you how many nights we were up until 5 a.m. just playing and pounding this out. And there's a link on YouTube. Do you know the name? Or I tell you what, we're gonna find that and we're gonna put it on the Roadshow page so you can watch that show.
Yeah.
And he also has a studio produced video for Inspirational
Rap music.
Exactly. He did a video for that's on YouTube as well.
Right.
Dude, we look forward to hearing new material. We look forward to getting back in the studio and playing live with you and supporting you and turning all of our audiences on to what you're doing. It's great stuff. It's intellectual. It's moving. You know, it's positive. The crowds react, and more than anything, dude, I want to thank you for coming in here and just spending some time with us. And whatever you're doing, you're a friend of the show. We're a friend of yours. Keep us up to date. Everybody, look out for this guy, man. He's taking over, and anything I can do to be a part of it or to help along, we're gonna do that. And I tell you what, before we get out of here, we're gonna offer you one more track. What do you like? You like It Was Meant to Be?
Yeah. Play that track. It Was Meant to Be, produced by my boy Artisan. He used to be my roommate down here in Florida. Big ups to Artisan.
That happens to be one of my favorite songs. That was one of the earlier ones we did. So SBK Live played that the other night at the Elixir appearance.
Thanks for that love, SBK. So, Brother Kevin, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, dude. I will make sure he knows personally.
And the other guy, his partner there.
Angel.
Yep,
definitely.
Yep.
All right, guys. We are going to give you a little segment here from Mistameana. This track off of Inspirational Rap music is called It Was Meant to Be. Enjoy this, and we'll be right back, and we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, find me on Twitter, Mistameana. Find me on SoundCloud, Mistameana, and that's Mistameana.
Sorry, I didn't spell that out for everybody, but yes, that's Mistameana. Look at our page. A huge picture of him. His album's cover's up there. This song's called It Was Meant to Be. Enjoy.
Peace.
Life is so funny, ain't it? Just like a portrait painted. They say things happen for a reason, but I can't explain it. I'm not a fortune teller, I'm not a psychic, but I could bet after you hear this, you won't like it. This is my flow, y'all, my heart and soul, y'all. Didn't think I'd do it, so I came here just to show y'all I'm what it is to be. Oh yes, a real MC. Thought we met today by accident, no, it was meant to be. I'm like a guiding light, who's here to teach you right. Opposite or wrong, that's what I went through, yes, my whole life. Learn from mistakes and do whatever it takes to make sure it never happens again. So now I'm grabbing my pen, writing rhymes in my hip-hop Bible. This is real talk, chapter 9, verse 2. Now pay attention to whatever I wrote, because the critics are all saying it's incredibly dope. It manifested from a thought that was into something that is, and from now on forever be. Words of wisdom spoken from a true master, teachings for the children and the generation after. And after, like when I'm dead and I'm gone, don't be sad cause I'm gone, because my legend lives on. It was meant to be.
We were always meant to be.
It was meant to be.
What is meant to be. What is meant to be will be.
It was meant to be.
Not coincidentally, intentionally.
It was meant to be.
Definitely, this is how hip hop is meant to be.
It was meant to be.
We were always meant to be.
Yeah, I sit and think about how life would have been different if I would've took that left. Maybe things would turn out right, but instead I kept on drinking and driving through red lights till I got pulled over, charged with a DUI. Then I'm thrown in jail. Call my nigga Jimmy to bail. A year later he died driving, drunk behind the steering wheel. Imagine the pain I feel when I tell you don't do it. He sacrificed his life so you don't have to go through it. So pay attention and brush up on your history. Thought we meant today by accident, no, it was meant to be. So don't you see? Life is what you make it. No better time than now, so that's why I gotta take this opportunity to spread the knowledge real heavy. Put your hands together, let me know that you're ready. Then I'll continue to bring you hot butter lyrics straight up off the menu. I'd rather give you something to eat than to feed into the gossip and have something to beef. That's why I keep a low pro with my ear to the street. With my homie Artisan chefing up another beat. Matter of fact, he played me this one, that's when I really flipped, son. Heard the melody, you knew this one was for me. It was meant to be.
We were always meant to be.
It was meant to be.
What is meant to be. What is meant to be will be.
It was meant to be.
We
was meant to be.
Definitely, this is how hip hop is meant to be.
It was meant to be.
We were always meant to be.
Yes, how about that, Senior Dark? That was called It Was Meant to Be. How you like that?
That was pretty badass.
You want to be a part of this thing?
Hell yeah, I'm down.
All right, man. Yeah, It Was Meant to Be by Mistameana. That's spelled Mistameana. And that album is called Inspirational Rap Music. You can buy it on cdbaby.com, and you can find Mistameana on soundcloud.com, Facebook, DJ Mistameana on YouTube, and Mistameana on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank him for coming in here, sharing some of the new music, and sharing our a little bit of stories from our fabled past, as it were. We had a really good time with him. Thanks for coming in. And so next show, it looks like we're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, Dark. How you feel about that? I think I've never seen the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, believe
I've
it or
never
not.
been there, so I'm excited.
I'm ready for that. We will be there on our next episode, which we will be recording somewhere around the 6th or 7th of September. We haven't quite decided what day we're arriving. But anyway, we're going to wrap things up here. We appreciate you guys listening. Tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell a family member, tell whoever you're sleeping with, whatever you want to do. Thanks for listening to The Roadshow. For Human Factors Lab, Senior Dark, Mistameana, and the rest of the Dead to Us All tour, we're out of here. We'll see you on down the road.